I like to talk about some plants in the garden and their uses. Starting with my scarlet carpet rose, it doesn't really have a use. I just really like the color. Very pretty. This is rue. It's an herb. It stinks. I don't know what people use it for, but I have found that it does have one wonderful use. It attracts these caterpillars. It's a type of swallowtail. It's a host plant. Onions, obviously we are going to eat these. This is just a little ornamental slash herb bed over here with some butterfly weed, great native pollinator plant with a beautiful orange bloom. The purple spikes are Veronica. I think it's Royal Candles. Just really beautiful. This is a hummingbird mint. The yellow flower there. It's a Agastache native to the western United States. It usually dies out here in the winter because our winters are too wet for it. And this is borage, which is supposed to be a good self-seeding plant, but I don't seem to be able to get it to self-seed, so I just get a new one each year. It has a beautiful blue flower, very attractive to pollinators. There's a bed of potatoes. I grow berries everywhere. If you buy one berry, in a few years you will have berries everywhere. So this started off from one thornless black raspberry plant. And as you can see, in a week or two we're going to have a whole bunch ready to harvest, and they're growing all over the place at this point. The blackberries and raspberries will do exactly the same thing. So if you're going to purchase a plant, just buy one. That is all you need. Here's more onions. There's kale. We eat it. Elephant garlic. We eat it. Kentucky Wonder pole beans, we will eat them, but the idea here is they're going to grow up on this wall, this fencing wall we've built, and create a nice little shady area in the heat of the day. And I will keep everybody updated on how that works out. Here's some more butterfly weed. This is just a kind of a raised ornamental bed here. There's some betony, crocosmia, some kind of lily there, and Russian sage. This is a really cool plant. It's a weed. Or a wildflower. You can call it whatever you like. It's chicory. It just grows here naturally. It has a beautiful blue flower, and it doesn't really take over. And what I need to do here is cut it back and then use the top for mulching or biomass. It's a great biomass plant. If I let it go to flower, the flowers are going to flop. But there's this interesting thing that you can do is if you just keep cutting certain plants back, get a shorter plant with really thick blooms. If you buy mums in the fall or asters, that's how they get them to have that look. Here's an aster I just cut back to make it full when it finally does bloom in the fall. Here's a little cup plant that I just transplanted this spring. It's super tiny. Here's some hardy gladiolus. There's liatris. That's a great native plant. It's getting ready to bloom. I believe that's a Maynite salvia right there. And a hardy geranium. The pink flowers right there. This bed is purely ornamental. The dianthus is starting to go by. There is a Cheyenne Spirit coneflower. They're beautiful. I have not been successful in keeping them alive. They seed themselves and revert to kind of a yucky yellow color. Hopefully that one will thrive. I'll try to take better care of it. These poppies are pretty much done. And there's Nymphophea. Those yellow flowers there, also known as red hot poker, but mine don't have red in them. And let's take a look over here at the herb/ornamental bed. I've got some Monarda blooming, or getting ready to bloom here. This is a great native mint family plant. Some more Veronica, pincushion flower. This is an oregano. The lavender spikes are catmint, Walker's Low, I believe. And all this green carpety stuff is thyme. And the reason that this area is so high is this is a huge anthill. I don't know if you can really get the perspective from the video, but it is raised up about 18 inches above the surrounding soil. Ants have done that. They don't do any damage. They're cool. I just leave them be. There's a Baptisia, or a false blue indigo plant. Great native plant. It only blooms for a week or so, but while it blooms, it's gorgeous. And it's super dry here. We haven't had real rain in about 3 weeks, so my valerian is kind of giving it up. Plus, it was doing that anyway. It's leaning out towards the light. There is a huge cup plant back there. That's a native prairie plant. Amazing plant, big yellow blooms, and it has this wonderful characteristic. It keeps these little cups of water for insects to use. It may have another use for them. That may just be a wonderful side effect. I don't know. There's clary sage. It is not a sage. Not a true sage. And over here we have catnip. There's goji berries leaning out there, clover, more of this wonderful chicory, the trifoliate orange, which really took off. It just didn't do anything for several years and then just totally took off. And now I have all these little tiny oranges on it. You can't really eat them. They're good for flavoring. And of course, here's the banana patch. This is the original spot where I planted the banana. And then, of course, I've just propagated it from there. There's another patch starting down the hill. That is just a few of the plants. I've kind of focused on the ornamentals. There's all sorts of other berry plants in here and vegetable plants. This is spinach going to seed, and between it I've planted some dwarf horticultural beans. Hopefully the birds aren't just eating them. We're going to have to wait till the rains come. They're just going to sit there and not sprout until it rains. It's just too dry. Here's a mixed bed of tomatoes and some asparagus. I don't really care about the asparagus. It does not do well here. There's some disease that's afflicting it, so I just decided to put my tomatoes in there to at least get some use out of that bed. That little yellow flower is Avens. There's another Baptisia with some ornamental onions that are done, and a very large patch of hardy hibiscus. which it's really taking up a lot of room here, but when it does bloom, it's just gorgeous. So I'm gonna let it stay there for a while. And there you can get kind of a wide view of the garden.